I gotta wait. How long I gotta wait for a press record?
Go.
Welcome to the share, where Miss Dreme always has a story.
I'm Dreme, a black woman with many beautiful interconnecting identities. A few I will name at this moment as we get started on this podcast journey together. A Bostonian, born and raised in the inner city, Dorchester and Roxbury neighborhoods, to a teenage single mother who has my whole heart. An educator, I've been working with youth and children since my teenage years, and formally, I have been teaching almost a decade now. That's wild to think about. An entrepreneur, I am the founder of The Chair, a black and brown centered tech platform dedicated to supporting people on their hair journey, where you can design hairboards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a more joyous experience. I have a workable site, my prototype. It took me 2 years to build, and now I'm on this adventure that you're currently on with me. My goal for this podcast is to share stories, black stories, educator stories, entrepreneurship stories, and hair stories. I want you to leave each episode with the opportunity to gain new insight, just a glimpse into my world or the worlds that are featured on my podcasts, a little chuckle during your day or night, possibly a little anger to encourage you to advocate for justice, and hope to continue learning and dreaming. So come in and listen to the beautiful voices in the chair as they share their stories, starting with me.
Where we share stories in the chair.
All right, Erin, thank you so much for joining my podcast. Can you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So I am Erin Slayton. I am 27 years old, currently living in Taunton, Massachusetts. I am an educator, an artist, a small business owner, all the things. I do it all.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that's me.
Yeah. We all have a hair journey. And I've seen photos of you where it was like, wow, you shaved it all off. And then I've seen photos of you with, beautiful braids. And so I'm curious to know, do you have a memory of when you first fell in love with your hair?
Yes. I have a couple.
Please share.
So, like you said, everybody has a hair journey. Mine too, like intrinsically tied with race and having a white mom that's like, girl, what is this? Like, I do not know how to do your hair. And I'm like, only a little teeny bopper. So like, it was a hassle. Growing up, my hair was a hassle. Just because I didn't know what to do with it. It was not like the Jerry curls like my sister had. If I brushed it, it suddenly was an afro, and I was like, what do I do with this? It was like unmanageable for so long just because I had so much of it. But my mom was always like, your hair is beautiful. Don't cut it off. You don't need to straighten it. Da 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 da. Of course, me and my sister both went through our relaxer phase, straighten your hair every day phase. She went on like a kick with like dyeing her hair. And I remember like my senior year of high school. Well, actually, before that, like growing up, I had many classic Erin hairstyles. So like I would distinctly remember, well, when I was younger, my mom used to just braid it. So it used to be like, just like bald, like right now it looks like in the front with a little braid in the back. Simple. Cause she was like, I can do one braid. Easy. There were times where she would like take me to get my hair braided. So that would be like cornrows. And then middle school, I was like, you know what? No, screw all these braids. I'm just going to brush it and put it in a puff. So I had like this huge puff ball, like a side pony, but it was like a growth out of the side of my head. And like in middle, people used to stick pencils in it and like touch it and blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is horrible. So then from there, I kind of moved to like, instead of one big puff ball, it was like a braid of puffs. So I don't know if you like,
yeah.
And then an elastic and then a little puff. So that was also like an Erin classic for like years. Wore that till the day that it went out of style, even though I don't ever in style. But I pretty much wore that like through high school. My senior year of high school, it came time for senior senior portrait. I went to the school on the day with my natural hair. And I was like, this is going to be great. Because like every now and then I could get it to like tame itself to a way that I was like, I like how it looks right now. It was usually like fresh out of the shower and like before it like started growing like a mile a minute. So I go for my senior portrait. I take them. I'm like, hopefully these are great. Fast forward a few weeks, got them in the mail, hated them. I was like, oh my God. Ended up straightening my hair and redoing my senior portraits with straight hair. Because like my hair was long. I just like didn't know how, I was like, I don't know what products to use. At this point, I'm a senior in high school. I don't really have money to be like dishing out, trying a bunch of products. Just like could not figure it out. So ended up doing my senior portraits with straight hair, but I like wasn't happy with it because I was like, I know that my hair is beautiful. I just can't figure out how to wear it so that like it shows what I know it to be. And like, again, grew up like my dad always being like, stop touching your hair, stop looking in the mirror. You're beautiful. You're fine, blah, 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 blah. Listening to like India Ari, like I am not my hair. And like, again, confidence, I embody that. I'm like, I know that I'm not my hair. So like at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal, but I still want to like present the way that I want to. And like, I just couldn't figure it out. So senior year comes and goes. I'm probably like in my first year of college. And I realized, I don't know how it took me this long, learned that like box braids are a thing. So that is what, like my first time I got box braids, this whole time I was already in love with my hair. It was a love-hate relationship. I just like could not figure it out. Ugh. But at the end of the day, I was like, I love me for me. So like, whatever, it's just hair. But then when I got box braids, I was like, who is she? Like, just like set me on fire, like in the best way. And I was like, oh my God, I can do it all. I am literally unstoppable. So from there, that was like the first time I had one of my old friends do it. She was a hairstylist and she gave me my first box braids. And I was like, this is awesome. And like, it was still like, like we just had elastics at the end. Like we tried the boiling trick. It didn't work. Like we were still like not really knowing what we've been doing, but I was just like, look at my hair. Like, this is so cool. And then I think from there, so that was like, probably age like 20 on, I've just been obsessed. And now I'm so much more willing to like experiment with it and like try things out. Like from there, I tried like different styles of box braids, trying it, wearing it natural and just like embracing it, whether it was like out to here or like calm, cool and collected. And then I tried like faux locks at one point, which the more I tried, the more I loved. And I was like, this is fun. Like I love just like you have a whole new persona, like personality when your hair is done different ways. Which also just makes me think of like putting on wigs and being like, ooh, who is she in this hair versus this one? I have always been like a style kind of girly, like accessorizing and the jewelry and the outfits and the color coordinated and whatever. So like having my hair figured out on top of that just like pulled the whole shebang together.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Look, it's my commercial. We will be right back.
It's more than just a bad hair day. It's a journey. Finding the right hairstyle isn't easy, nor is finding the right stylist or the right products. Looking in every corner of the web gets messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. All the ads, the articles, the products, the videos, it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And now, it isn't. The Chair. A black and brown centered platform where you can design hairboards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a new joyful path on your hair journey. Avoid the clutter, save yourself hours, months, and even years of research and poor trial and error. Everything you need and only what you need is in one place. Hairboards made by people like you, for you. Find the right products, the right people, the right answers for you, stress-free. Join the Chair community and make every day a great hair day. When you share your pain, you allow others to help you. And when you share your success, you help others get theirs. Lean on the chair. We got you. No stress, no strife. In the chair. The chair. The chair. All right.
When I shaved it for the first time, that was like always like a dream that I was going. I was like, at some point, I know I'll have a shaved head because I'm a bald Baddie and I can handle it. And then it was like 2020, the opportunity kind of arose to use it as like a fundraising opportunity to be like, raise money for Black arts and education, and I'll shave my head on live. And like, then all these people just like jumped on board. We raised like close to $13,000 in 12 days. And I ended up donating it to 2 local communities. One was the Origination out of Boston. It's like a dance company where they teach primarily Black youth like leadership skills, but also like cultural dance and like exercise and ways to move your body and like stuff like that. And then the other was the Boys and Girls Club of Metro South out of Brockton. So they each got about like 6,000 plus, just like a random spontaneous raising the money and picking 2 nonprofits to donate it to. And they were so receptive. They were like, oh my God, like, why did you pick us? And I was like, people wanted to like put their energy somewhere and they put it in the form of monetary donation. And I'm like, I'm happy to like spearhead it and like be the one to organize it and just be transparent. Whenever you like raise funds, just to be like, this is where they're going, like the whole lump sum of it, so that people don't think it's like sketchy or anything. But yeah, that was just like a transformative moment. And then once people started donating, I was like, okay, well now I can't back out. So it was also kind of like a community, like bonding, community building, like because so many people were like keeping up with like how much money we were raising and then like getting on the live to like see it all go down. And then from there I was like, wait, I can rock a bald head. So like, I love this. And now I'm going to do it whenever I want. So then now whenever I get frustrated with my hair, I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. And then I'm like, call my boyfriend in and I'm like, honey, can you buzz me? Yeah, it's been a whole journey. I've had so many different hairstyles. I got love for all of them and where we've been and where we're going. It's funny. I distinctly remember, like, I don't know what age I was, like as a child being like, what am I going to look like when I grow up? What am I going to look like as an adult? So like, and a big part of that was like, how am I going to wear my hair like as an adult? Like, so because again, when I was young, like I used to just the braid or just the little puffs or whatever. And like never really knew whether or not I was going to love my hair to like wear it natural. And now like probably like between like last year and this year, found a great product that's like perfect for my hair and like keeps like the real curls that I get like when I get out of the shower. So now I can wear it like that and it stays and it doesn't just like grow over time. I feel like, yeah, especially like the past 2 years, like I've been stepping into like my natural hair journey. And I feel like shaving it a couple times helped like get my real texture back, relaxing it all those years ago. Like I know your hair like grows out and you cut it and whatever, but like, I don't know, I feel like something was still lingering that like now I've like finally like reset it to like, this is my real hair. And like, there's no pseudo straight parts in it anymore or whatever. And I love it.
Oh, and if you're interested to learn more about my experiences as a Black woman and educator in Guangzhou, China, I wrote my first ebook titled Nowhere and Everywhere, Capture the Emotions of a Beautifully Broken Love Story. It is on lulu.com. Take a read and see some beautiful photography of mine. Enjoy the rest of the show. Because, you know, you've been a bald baddie and a lover of box braids and all your creativity as an artist that fueled into your business. And so please share like what beautiful work that you do.
Okay, so I mentioned this earlier, I'm a small business owner. My business is called Pocket of Sunshine. And it started in 2018. I started originally just making jewelry, and just making jewelry for myself because, like I said, I like to accessorize. I like to be a little fashionista. So I was finding that like a lot of the outfits that I was wearing, I was like, what do I match with this? Like, I don't have jewelry to like go with this magenta or this fuchsia or whatever. I was like, wait, beads. Like I could just make stuff. So then I like started making a couple pair, and then it kind of like literally hit the ground running, took off from there. So it started with just making stuff for me to like my friend being like, oh my God, that's so cute. Like you should make an Instagram and just like post your progress and like your journey and like whatever. And it wasn't even like a business at that point. I just like picked Pocket of Sunshine because it was versatile. I love the sun. I was born on a Sunday in the summer, like just like all things like bright and happy. And so I started posting just like the earrings that I was making for myself. And then people would be like, oh my God, do you make rings? And then I was like, maybe, like, let me learn. And then I like taught myself how to make rings. And then it was like bracelets and necklaces. And then, and like, I've always made like crafts. Like I just like, I don't know. I used to make these starting in high school, but like through undergrad, I used to make these things called mollages, which is like a mosaic collage. And it's basically like, I'd get like a bunch of magazines, cut out like colors, like cool colors from the magazines. And then I would draw, one time I made this like really cool tiger. So I like drew out a tiger. It was on like this like 18 by 20 frame. And then I would use the pieces, like the color slabs from the magazine to like fill in the color. So it'd be like, when you step back, it makes a tiger. But then when you look close, it's like all these little scrap pieces of like magazines and like color bits from like random advertisements and stuff. So I'd call it like a mosaic collage, like a mollage. So like I used to make those and sell those like high school, undergrad, like whatever. So like I kind of used Pocket of Sunshine once I made it in 2018, like as a space to like random crafts that I would make. I would just post on there and be like, this is just stuff that I'm doing, like creative spirit flowing through, like blah, 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 whatever. And then I started selling some stuff, like selling rings, selling earrings, whatever. And then it wasn't until 2019, I actually had one of my really good friends, Denise Walls, passed, and I had flowers from her funeral services, and I was like, oh, I really want to do something with these, like save them somehow or whatever. So she passed in June of 2019. So then it was like really not that long that I had to like be experimenting before it was like 2020 pandemic, no school, like you have all this time. So that got me into like resin. Like I started first with like polymer clay and florals, like drying the florals, mixing them in with the clay and like making pieces like that. And then with the pandemic and like having so much time away from like being in school, I had a lot of experimental trials and tribulations with epoxy resin, wasting a whole bunch of money, trying things, failing, it's still being sticky the next day, blah, 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 blah. And then I ended up like making a couple pieces with her floral arrangements from her services. And then I had a couple people be like, hey, I also have flowers from her services. Can you make me stuff? Kind of started like my floral preservation journey kind of started with that as the catalyst, which gives me such fond memories, like just thinking like obviously it's super bittersweet in that way, but like I love that I can be like, Denise, girl, thank you for that inspiration, and kind of using that as like the start of it all. So from there, I swear, like pretty much other than stopping right at the beginning of 2024, like publicly taking open orders, I had custom requests like from 2019 on. So the past 4 years pretty much have been like people's flowers have come through my multiple homes, between living with my parents to buying my own house. I've had people's flowers from weddings, funerals, anniversaries, like you name it. And if they had flowers, they're trusting me with them, which I adore. And it's so nice, like being able to like work with nature and then preserving nature in this way and like making something totally new out of it. Like it started as a flower and now it's like a set of coasters or like a necklace or whatever. So I do now primarily, a lot of my business is the floral preservation, but I do have my website where I just put like stuff that I just make for my own fun and love of creating. I just like house it on my website so that like people know like there is stuff that's just like for sale, like whatever that I just like made for the fun of it, as opposed to custom requests from people. But yeah, so that is Pocket of Sunshine, and it's versatile, and it's not just one thing. Like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of artists try to like put themselves in a hole and be like, I only do polymer clay earrings, and I'm like, no, I do whatever. And like people will ask me like, hey, do you make, I don't know, tables? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Let me try it. Let me try it and see first, like doing this, like or even just like taking like one-off custom requests. Like sometimes people have like very unique ideas, and I'm like, I'll see if I can do it. I remember one time this girl, her boyfriend proposed to her in like an apple orchard, and like put the ring like in an apple, like stuck it like in the top of an apple, and then like got down on one knee and like proposed with the apple. And then she wanted to save the apple. So I was like, okay, well, I preserve flowers, and like I've dehydrated like fruits and vegetables before. So like I figured out a way to like preserve her apple so that she could like we turned it into like an ornament. And then like she had like this that she was proposed to like in like a, I don't know, like a coaster or like whatever. And it was like really cool, just like unique. Like I probably wouldn't put that on my website to be like, I also preserve apples if you ever have it. But just like one-off, like unique, cool ideas. And like that was the connection that we had, that I was like, thanks for asking. Like I loved making that for you. And now she has this like forever piece to treasure. But yeah, no, more so I just love the connections that come out of it. Like I love making friends. And I feel like especially in 2024, like as connected as we are on social media and like the internet, bringing that in real life is just a whole nother vibe. Like being like, yeah, you guys think I'm cool and stuff because I read my poetry or whatever, but like, how cool would it be if you actually came to an event that I had and like hung out with me? And that was one thing that I loved about like the yard sale. So I would just like host a yard sale, and instead of just like random junk, it'd be like, I'm selling my art, like my creation. And I loved having people like come to my parents' house and like coming for a yard sale and like stop by. But I really wanted the dynamic where like you don't have to come just to buy stuff. I want to host space for people to come and like hang out and like just shoot the shit or like chat or whatever, and like spend time with like other human beings not on the internet. Which is still the dream when my garage finally gets rebuilt.
You're almost there.
Getting there. As of this past week, we have the building permits.
Okay.
So we are making such slow but steady progress. So once my garage is back in action, I call it a garage, but it's being designed as a studio now, so that I can host events finally in my studio space, which was part of the reason why I moved out and bought my own house, was because I wanted to like grow my business. And my parents were like, you need to stop bringing all these random I'm like, but it's fun and they love it. So I love like that, like I said, like that community building and like togetherness, and like knowing that you have people that also want to just like hang out and not necessarily like, I don't know, go to the bar or spend the night on the couch by themselves. Like you could come to my paint night or come to my floral preservation night or my resin night or whatever. So I'm excited to start, like, once it's real, once the building is like actually back in my backyard, I'm going to be better about like posting about it and like letting people know that that's what I plan on doing. But I'm like, it's not real yet because the garage is still non-existent, but we're getting there.
one day at a time. Erin, this has been amazing, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to share your stories in the chair.
Thanks. My God, it is such a pleasure. And I love reconnecting, like we said earlier, like with Facebook and whatnot, like especially when we were young, that stuff wasn't there. So like being able to like be like, oh my God, Dreme, I remember her. Like, cheers to you.
Thank you. You're doing amazing things, and the fact that I get to see it and be a part of it, and you getting to share it on my podcast is just beautiful and truly a blessing.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dreme always has a story.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Chair. I, of course, would love your continued support. Let me know what you think of this episode by doing all the things. Subscribe, comment, and come back next week, every week. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. Or if you are like me, enjoy that moonlight and that one star under all your city lights. Love you. Talk to you later.
How long I gotta wait for a person to record?
Go.
We support her. Shit.
Do your...
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dreme always has a story. Where we share stories in the chair.